Peace, 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 family. My name is Michael Jordan, aka the Sirius Alchemist, back with another video, back with the Saturday night book review. Got a good one for y'all today. Thought about this one for a minute, you know what I'm saying? Ask Spirit, you know what I'm saying, what I should bring this week. They gave me a few books and wanted me to explain a little bit about universal laws, the 7 universal laws that you may be aware of and some of you out there may not be aware of. So first book today, we're gonna go with the Hermetica, Lost Wisdom of the Pharaohs by Peter Gandy and Timothy Freak. That's Timothy Freak and Peter Gandy. The Hermetica, the Lost Wisdom of the Pharaohs. This is a good one, family. This is pretty much pharaonic thought. This is like ancient Kemetic pharaonic thought. You know what I'm saying? This is some real powerful information right here, family. So I'm gonna read something from the back, like I always do. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully somebody go out there and get this work, because this work right here, like I said, can actually change your life if you let the book transform you. It can. And if you apply the principles within the book, it can transform you and it can transform your life. You know what I'm saying? So this knowledge was hidden in the ancient world because they didn't want it to get into the wrong hands. But it's readily out there today, and most people don't want to grab it, but they should grab this work because it's worth having. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to go ahead and read from the back. It says, discover the secret teachings at the heart of Western thought. And just that first sentence right there, discover the secret teachings at the heart of Western thought. All that you know in the Western hemisphere comes from ancient thought, ancient mythology, ancient spiritual systems. You feel me? Now this little book, the Hermetica, is a little book, but it's packed full of wisdom. I mean, it's packed. And if you get it, you'll understand what I mean. You know, it's the lost wisdom of the pharaohs. Like I said, this is ancient pharaonic thought or ancient Kemetic thought. So this is what the ancient priests used to think. This is the knowledge they had. You know what I'm saying? This is the knowledge they was trying to give to the world so people could save themselves. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to pick up something right here on page 6. One of the prophecies of Hermes. Matter of fact, I think I'm going to start on page 1. Matter of fact, I'm going to just start from the beginning because this is so packed full of knowledge, family. I mean, me reading it to you ain't going to really, you know, do it justice. As I always say, getting it for yourself is going to do the best justice ever, but I'm going to read it anyway. Hopefully I can spark something and somebody out there to go get the book, because it's worth having in your family. Excuse me, it's worth having in your library, family. I got thousands of books, family. I got thousands of books in my library. You know what I'm saying? That's why I try to share what I share. I mean, I got thousands of books. I got books everywhere. You know, when I first started studying, I always told myself I want to surround myself with knowledge. You know what I mean? And that's pretty much what I did. I just surrounded myself with knowledge. Family, I got books on everything. I study it all. You know what I'm saying? Like I was taught by Bobby Hemmett. You study all of it. You know what I'm saying? That's called chaos magic. You know what I'm saying? That's what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? I'm a jack of all trades, master of none. I study it all. I don't turn my face to nothing. So by the time I get to the end of this video, you'll understand where I'm going, because I'm going somewhere in this video. And if you follow me, you know what I'm saying, through the video, you'll understand where I'm going if you follow through the knowledge. Okay. In this chapter, Hermes describes the nature of pure philosophy, but laments that in future generations, it will become all but lost. It will become all but lost, family. Okay, the philosophy that Hermes teaches is not just a clever intellectual exercise. It is about focusing the mind in deep meditation on Atum, an ancient Egyptian name for God. Such pure philosophy is about rising above mere opinions to experience directly the mind of the universe. Using the God-given gift of our own little minds, we can come to know the big mind that creates and maintains the cosmos in beautiful order. For Hermes, Spiritual philosophy is not opposed to science, as it often is for us today. The student of spiritual philosophy studies science as a form of devotion to God. Through understanding the secrets of the natural world, he is overcome with a sense of awe and reverence for the Creator. He appreciates the perfect order of the universe, as if he were listening to a grand symphony in which every melody has been exquisitely combined to compose one magnificent harmony. Hermes prophesizes, however, that this spiritual philosophy will one day become lost and confused. Speaking from our distant past, he uncannily describes the predicament we find ourselves in today. Pure philosophy has been replaced by teachings of clever intellectuals with no mystical understanding of life. People have ceased to see the universe as a source. People have ceased to see the universe as a source of wonder and no longer revere it as a work of God. Spirituality has come to be dismissed by science as a primitive superstition. The profound wisdom of the ancient Egyptian is thought of as a dead religion and little more than an archaeological curiosity. Hermes foretells that Egypt, once the home of spirituality, will become a desolate place deserted by the gods. Out of compassion for future generations, Hermes writes his wisdom in books and orders them to be hidden like a time capsule of truth. Hermes' vision waits for its chance to awaken future generations who are lost and bewildered by life, people such as ourselves. Now, folks, if you listen to that, who has been lost in this part of the hemisphere? You know what I'm saying? For at least 400 years. Who? Tell me who. Who is he speaking about? But I'm going to read on, family. I'm going to read on because it gets deeper. It really gets deeper. The prophecies of Hermes. Pure philosophy is spiritual striving through constant contemplation to attain true knowledge of Atum, the one God. But speaking now in prophecy, I say that in times to come, no one will pursue philosophy with single-mindedness and purity of heart. Those with a grudging and ungenerous temperament will try and prevent men discovering the priceless gift of immortality. Philosophy will become confused, making it hard to comprehend. It will be corrupted by spurious speculation. It will be entangled with bewildering sciences like arithmetic, music, and geometry. The student of pure philosophy studies the sciences, not as fanciful theories, but as devotion to Atum or devotion to God, because as he said, Atum means God. Because I want y'all to follow this, right? Because they reveal the universe perfectly ordered by the power of number, because measuring the depths of the sea and forces of fire and magnitudes of physical things leads to a reverent awe as the creator's skill and wisdom, because the mysteries of music bear witness to the unsurpassed talent of the supreme artist who has beautifully harmonized all things into a single whole, suffused with sweet melodies. To simply love Atum in thought, or to simply love God in thought with singleness of heart and to follow the goodness of his will, this is philosophy, unsullied by intrusive cravings for pointless opinions. But I foresee that in times to come, clever intellectuals will mislead the minds of men, turning them away from pure philosophy. It will be taught that our sacred devotion was ineffectual, and that the heartfelt piety and assiduous service with which we, Egyptians or Camites, honor Atum was a waste without reward. Egypt is an image of the heavens, and the whole cosmos dwells here in this its sanctuary. But the gods will desert the earth and return to heaven, abandoning this land. That was once the home of spirituality. Egypt will be forsaken and desolate, bereft of the presence of the gods. It will be overrun by foreigners who will neglect our sacred ways. This holy land of temples and shrines will be filled with corpses and funerals. The sacred Nile will be swollen with blood, and her waters will rise utterly foul with gore. Does this make you weep? There is worse to follow. Now, this is Hermes talking, right? Pay attention, y'all, because this is Hermes speaking. This land that was a spiritual teacher to all humankind, which loved the gods with such devotion that they deemed to sojourn here on earth. This land will exceed all others in cruelty. The dead will far outnumber the living, and the survivors will be known as Egyptians by their language alone. For in their actions, they will be like men of another race. Oh my goodness. Did y'all hear that, family? They said the land will exceed all others in cruelty. Look at Egypt right now. Look at it. The dead will far outnumber the living, and the survivors will be known as Egyptians by their tongue alone, but for in their actions, they will be like men of another race. Tell me that ain't the black man in America. Tell me it ain't. Not all of them, you know what I'm saying? Not the ones that watch my channel, of course, but you know, y'all know what I'm talking about. It says, nothing will remain of your religion but an empty tale, which even your children will not believe. Nothing will be left to tell your wisdom but old graven stones. Men will be weary of life and will cease seeing the universe as worthy of reverent wonder. Spirituality, the greatest of all blessings, will be threatened with extinction. God damn. Will be threatened with extinction and believed a burden and to be scorned. The world will no longer be loved as an incomparable work of Atum or an incomparable. Remember, Atum means God. So I just want to keep saying that so y'all follow that. A glorious monument to its primal goodness, an instrument of the divine will to evoke veneration and praise in the beholder. Egypt will be widowed. Every sacred voice will be silenced. Darkness will be preferred to light. No eyes will raise to heaven. The pure will be thought insane, and the impure will be honored as wise. The madman will be believed brave, and the wicked esteemed as good. Tell me we ain't living in that day and time right now. I'm gonna read it one more time. The madman will be believed brave, the madman, and the wicked esteemed as good. That's the day we living in right now today. Hermes read this 2,000, maybe 3,000 years ago. Knowledge of the immortal soul will be laughed at and denied. People will laugh at immortality, that the soul is immortal. You can't touch my soul. You know what I'm saying? Y'all heard that before. You can't touch my soul. And those that don't have a soul know they got problems with that. You know what I'm saying? Because there's some artificial beings on this planet, but that's a whole nother video. It says darkness will be preferred to light. No eyes will raise to heaven. The pure will be thought insane, and the impure will be honored as wise. The madman will be believed brave, and the wicked esteemed as good. Knowledge of the immortal soul will be laughed at and denied. No reverent words worthy of heaven will be heard or believed. So I, thrice great Hermes, the first of men to attain all knowledge, have inscribed the secrets of the gods in sacred symbols and holy hieroglyphs on these stone tablets, which I have concealed for a future world that may seek our wisdom. Family, through all-seeing mind, I myself have been the witness of the invisible things of heaven, and through contemplation come to knowledge of the truth, this knowing I have set down in these writings. Hermes Trismegistus. Family, get this book, the Hermetica, the Lost Wisdom of the Pharaohs. Timothy Freak and Peter Gandy. Man, there's some more stuff in here. I really don't want to go into it because I don't want to give it away because there's jewels up in here. And I really just don't want to give it away. Family, it's worth the wait to get this book right here. Trust me on this one. You got to really, really trust me on this one. This one's worth the wait because this is ancient, Kemetic, Pharaonic thought. And this had to be translated from Coptic. Remember, it had to be translated from the Coptic, this Coptic Egyptian. See what I'm saying? Ancient. But it transformed your life if you let it. So now I'm going to go to the next book. Right? Which is this is the Kabbalion by the three initiates. You should be able to get this on Amazon. You should be able to get this anywhere. A study of Hermetic philosophy of ancient Egypt and Greece. You can't go wrong with this book, family, because this book gives you the seven laws, the seven laws of the universe. You know what I'm saying? It's worth having in your library. Again, this is Pharaonic thought as well. You know what I'm saying? Don't get it twisted. This is also scholarship. Don't get it twisted. So, like I always do, I'm gonna read from the back. You know what I'm saying? Like I always do. There were always a few to tend faithfully the altar of the truth, upon which was kept alight the perpetual lamp of wisdom. These men devoted their lives to the labor of love, which the poet has so well stated in his lines, "Oh, let not the flame die out. Cherish age after age in this dark cavern, in its holy temples cherish, fed by pure ministers of love, let not the flame die out." Don't let the flame die out, family. But this book right here goes through the 7 universal laws. And I'm going to go through those for those who may not know who they are. I know there's a lot of people who do, but I know there's probably a lot of people who don't as well. So just by that alone, I want to explain those 7 laws. I know it's the law. I know them. I think this law of mentalism, the law of vibration, the law of polarity, and that's a few more, but I want to give them to y'all, all of them, out the book. So it ain't coming from me. You feel me? Okay. Let me read this right here. Let me read this to y'all right here. And this is on page 22 in the Kabbalion, right? This book is a serious work too. I'm telling y'all, don't sleep on these books I'm giving y'all now, because I'm going to tell y'all, it's going to be a time you ain't going to be able to get these books. It's going to be a time you ain't going to be able to get them. Because they ain't going to want you to have them. They don't want you to have them now, but they out there. So, but check this out, family. Let me get some water real quick. So I'm a little thirsty. But peep this out, family. Okay. The art of Hermetic alchemy, which, contrary to general belief, dealt in the mastery of mental forces rather than material elements, the transmutation of one kind of mental vibrations into others, instead of the changing of one kind of metal into another. The legends of the Philosopher's Stone, which would turn base metal into gold, was an allegory relating to Hermetic philosophy, readily understood by all students of true Hermeticism. In this little book, of which this is the first lesson, we invite our students to examine into the Hermetic teachings as set forth in the Kabbalion, as explained by ourselves, humble students of the teachings, who, while bearing the title of initiates, are still students at the feet of Hermes the Master. We herein give you many of the axioms, and precepts of the Kabbalion, accompanied by explanations and illustrations, which we deem likely to render the teachings more easily comprehended by the modern student, particularly as the original text is perfectly veiled in obscure terms. The original maxims, axioms, and precepts of the Kabbalion are printed herein in quotation marks, the proper credit being given. Our own work is printed in the regular way in the body of the work. We trust that the many students to whom we now offer this little work will derive as much benefit from the study of its pages as have the many who have gone on before, treading the same path to mastery throughout the centuries that have passed since the times of Hermes Trismegistus, the master of masters, the great, in the words of the Kabbalion. So that according to the teachings, the passage of this book to those ready for the instruction will attract the attention of such as are prepared to receive the teaching. And likewise, when the pupil is ready to receive the truth, then will this little book come to him or her. Such is the law, the Hermetic principle of cause and effect. In its aspect of the law of attraction will bring lips and ear together, pupil and book in company, so mote it be. In other words, so let it be. So I'm going to tell y'all the seven laws, right? The 7 laws. The first law is the principle of mentalism, right? The second law is the law of correspondence, or the principle of correspondence. The third law is the law of vibration, or the principle of vibration. And the fourth law is the principle of polarity. right? And the fifth law is the principle of rhythm, right? Sixth law is the principle of cause and effect. Everything has a cause, and all causes have an effect. And the principle, and the last and the seventh principle or law is gender. And no man or woman can escape these laws. These are universal laws. These ain't man-made laws. I want to make this real clear for anybody who's listening. Pay attention. These are universal laws. No man can escape these laws. They can learn how to live with them and learn how to not be affected by them, but no man escaped these laws. I don't care who he is if they walk this earth. So that's how powerful this information is, family. This is ancient Kemetic Pharaonic thought. I can't say that enough, right? So when you start to learn these laws, your life becomes easier. Your life becomes, you start to learn your life's purpose. You begin to understand why you're here or why you came here. You ain't just here to, to swoop no BMW around and no Benz, and that, that's easy. That's simple shit. You feel me? You're here to do great things. So when you get books like this, you're able to do great things. You feel me? And that's what we got to get back to, family, doing great things. So this book right here is a must-have in your library. Because like I said, family, I got thousands of books. I've been buying books for 25 plus years. It was a time I was getting 4 or 5 books a week, and my neighbor was looking at me like I was crazy. He was like, damn, this nigga got books. I was getting 4 or 5 books a week. And this was 20-some years ago. And I don't get like 4 or 5 a week now, but I still might get one or, a couple a month, something like that. I still get books because I understand that's what transformed me. But reading the books it's not what transformed you. It's applying what you learn from the books. When you start to understand, when your understanding gets key. Because remember in the Bible it says in all thy ways get an understanding, right? So when you get understanding, man, you got half of it beat. You feel me? So yeah, get this book, family. This book is a treasure, another treasure. The Kabbalion, by the Three Initiates, a study of the Hermetic philosophy of ancient Greece. And I just gave y'all the 7 principles, the 7 universal laws, which are the law of mentalism, which states everything is mental. The law of correspondence, which means it's basically as above, so below. And then the principle of vibration, which says that everything vibrates. And then the principle of polarity, which is everything has its opposites. And then the principle of rhythm is which everything has rhythm. And what on the planet that doesn't have rhythm, family? Think about it for a minute. What on the planet doesn't have rhythm? Think about it. And then the principle of cause and effect. Every effect has a cause, and every cause has an effect. And then the principle of gender. You know what I'm saying? So family, when you get to understand this and start reading it and get your mind around understanding it, man, you can create whatever you want for yourself. I'm talking about universes. I ain't talking about no Simple Simon money, because money's nothing. You know what I'm saying? Money's nothing. That's simple. I'm talking about creating universes, planets for yourself, whole universes. You can't imagine that, but it's possible. You create whatever you want for yourself. But anyway, this book is a must-have in your library, family. The Kabbalion, the 3 Initiates. Get it. You feel me? And I think it was one more piece in here I wanted to read, but I don't know if I should, if I should just let y'all get it. But I guess I'm going to read this little piece. It says, within the father-mother mind, mortal children are at home. The Kabbalion. There is not one who is fatherless nor motherless in the universe. The Kabbalion. Y'all hear that? It's deep. But anyway, I'm wondering if I should, because you really have to understand this. So I might just be reading this in vain, but then again, I might not. You never know who's out there listening. So I'm gonna read it anyway. So it says, but the absolute point of view shows merely one side of the picture. The other side is the relative one. Absolute truth has been defined as things as the mind of God knows them, while relative truth is things as the highest reason of man understands them. And so while the universe, must be unreal and illusionary, a mere dream or result of meditation, nevertheless, to the finite minds forming a part of that universe and viewing it through mortal faculties, the universe is very real indeed and must be so considered. In recognizing the absolute view, we must not make the mistake of ignoring or denying the facts and phenomena of the universe as they present themselves to our mortal faculties. We are not the all. Remember, to take familiar illustrations, we all recognize the fact that matter exists to our senses. We will fare badly if we do not. And yet, even our finite minds understand the scientific dictum that there is no such thing as matter from a scientific point of view. That which we call matter is held to be merely an aggregation of atoms, which atoms themselves are merely a grouping of units of force called electrons or ions, vibrating in constant circular motion. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna stop right there. But family, get this book. You won't go wrong getting it. You really won't. Especially and start teaching it to your kids and start telling your kids about this stuff. Because the day and time we living in, we're in the end of an era. And then the powers that were, they don't want you having this stuff because they know the power that's in you. So all this is going to do is activate the power that's in you. So trust me on this. Get the book. And last but not least, family, is my man Malefi Keti Asante. Malefi Kete Asante. The Egyptian Philosophers, Ancient African Voices from Imhotep to Akhenaten. Man, I love this book right here, man. I can't say it enough. I love this book. I love all three of these books. I learned so much from them. You know what I'm saying? I love the knowledge in them. You know what I'm saying? When you learn to apply it. It's the fun part. But this book right here, man, this book was one, man. This book's worth every penny. All of them. This book only paid $14, $15 for this book. You might not be able to get it for that now. I don't know. But look, there's my man, a picture of him on the back. Scholar. Scholar. And I'm going to read the back. Who is the father? It says Egyptian philosophers, ancient African voices from Imhotep to Akhenaten. And he says, who is the father of medicine, Imhotep or Hippocrates? Where's the origin of civilization, Egypt or Greece? Do you know more about Plato and Socrates than Ptahhotep and Akhenaten? Can white supremacy ever end without the truth? Ooh, that's a good question. I want to pose that question again. Can white supremacy ever end without the truth? And the next thing he says is, did African philosophy precede Greek philosophy? But Greek philosophy is African philosophy. So, but anyway, this is an old book, so a lot of information that's out now wasn't out back then. So, but anyway, for those people just getting involved in this or been involved in this for a minute, this still a must-have in your library because you can learn a lot from it. So, and then I'm gonna finish reading from the back. It says, Malefi Kete Asante received his PhD from UCLA at the age of 26. Asante is a professor in the Department of, Asante is a professor in the Department of African American Studies at the Temple University. He came to Temple University in 1984, where he created the first PhD program in African American Studies. In addition, he has been the director of more than 60 PhDs, considered by his peers to be one of the most distinguished contemporary scholars. Asante is the author or editor of 42 books. He has written more than 200 articles for journals and magazines, and is founder of the theory of Afrocentricity. Indeed, his books, Afrocentricity, The Afrocentric Idea, and Kemet, Afrocentricity, and Knowledge are keywords in his field. He has published more scholarly books than any contemporary African author, has recently been recognized as one of the 10 most widely cited African Americans. Hey, this brother's off the chain. He has a website, www.africanamericanImages.com. So if you want to go check out some images, you know what I'm saying, feel free to do so. But yeah, I want to read something in here, family. Because I ain't gonna give up too much of this book. You're gonna have to get this one. I'm gonna read a little piece in here, and I'm just gonna let it ride. And then just let the wise, if you're wise enough to get it, get it. You know what I'm saying? Because it's worth every penny. Every book I tell you, because like I said, I got thousands of books, family. I got thousands of books. But this thing ain't no thing to me. I've been collecting books for 25 plus years. So I could do this forever. I could do book reviews for a long, long time. So family, get this book. If you like to read like me, if you're an avid reader, you know what I'm saying, and want to know, and read. But I'm gonna read this little piece right here, family, and I'm gonna let it ride. You know what I'm saying, for the video. But if you're new, I appreciate you watching. If you've been here for a minute, you've been watching, I thank y'all, all your support and all that. But please hit that like button for me. Smash the likes for me. Please smash them likes, because that helped me get in the algorithm and helps my channel get out there a little bit more. So I appreciate that. And if you want to know every time I drop a new video, hit that little bell and I'll let you know every time I drop. You feel me? So I'm going to read this little part right here, because this part is really profound. I'm going to drink some water before I do, because when I read, I get thirsty. Okay, family. It says books and papyrus were abundant, but not everyone could read. Yet the society sought to make every person a true believer in the cosmology of Kemet, and therefore at the temples and in the funerary tombs. It was necessary to have words, sacred words, that could be instruments for conveying images, symbols, and ideas of power. Thus, it was possible that the admonition to read books, to concentrate on learning what was in books, was meant to encourage a massive literacy. Although, excuse me, although I am aware of the caste system that existed within the society, it is true that the faculty for reading was not something that could be easily retained within the confines of one caste. Many of the artisans who worked in the temples came from lower castes. However, only the scribes and priests could officiate in the actual inscribing on the walls. Duoff truly seeks to prepare the student for the world. Every conceivable profession will bring some pleasure and some success, but in the end, none will survive like the love of books. His tongue-in-cheek treatment of the occupation makes the point that the love of books is the greatest key to life. And I'm going to end it right there, family. The Egyptian philosophers, Alefi Kete Asante. My name is Michael Jordan, a.k.a. the Sirius Alchemist. If you would like a reading from me, I'm going to leave my email down in the description. Excuse me. If you like a reading from me, I'm going to leave my email down in the description box. Hit me up. I'll be glad to help you out. Till the next time, peace.